Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well, and I'm so excited to be bringing the family activity to you for this week. Okay, so today in Pastor Kendall's sermon, he talked about what happens when we are in charge and try to take things into our own hands instead of letting God be in charge of our lives. And so I'm super excited to show you the activity that goes along with that. Okay, so for the activity, what you're going to need is some colorful water. I chose red. You're going to need a glass cup or a mason jar, a little tiny candle. I have 3 pennies, but you can use whatever coins you have at your house or whatever kind of coins. You can use nickels and quarters. It really doesn't matter. And then you'll need a white plate. And you need to ask your mommy or your daddy to help you with this. You cannot use this all by yourself. But we need something to light the candle with, okay? So the first thing I'm going to put down are the coins, okay? So I have 3 pennies, and I'm going to place the pennies just somewhere on the plate. The coins represent us. And you know what happens when we try to be in charge? And when we aren't listening to the Lord, and we think that we can handle everything and that we know everything, we make a really big mess. And so our mess is represented by this red water. So I'm just going to pour this all in there, because this is what happens when we think that we can handle everything and that we know what's best and God doesn't. Okay. So now we're going to take our candle and we're going to sit our candle right in the middle of the mess. And so whenever we think of God, do we think of light or dark? We think of light, God's light. So our candle and our cup is going to represent God because he's so big and so powerful. So before I put my cup on top of my candle, I'm going to light my candle. And remember, ask your mom or your dad to help you, okay? So we're just going to go on ahead and we're going to light the candle. Look at that beautiful light. So now what we're going to do is we've made a mess because we think that we're in charge. But God is actually in charge. And when we allow him to take control of things in our lives and we let things go and let God do what God needs to do, he helps us clean up the big mess that we've made. So let's see what that looks like. Look at that. Do you see how all of the water is being absorbed into the cup? That is so cool. So instead of us thinking that we're in charge and creating a big mess, we need to remember that God is in charge and he knows what's best for us. And when we do make a big mess and we open our hands and give our mess to God, he's going to help us clean up that big mess. All right, guys. Thanks for coming to this week's activity. And I want you to remember that if you're having a moment where you feel like you want to be in charge, I want you to pray and ask God to help you give that to him, because we want to remember that he's in charge and he knows what's best for us. I hope to see you guys next week. Bye.